Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. For today's video, we're going to be diving into some updated analysis inside of XRP so I can share with you guys exactly where I think the prices are going to be headed over the next couple weeks. We're at a very important part of the market cycle where we're just moments away, awaiting for our next major breakout into new all-time highs and awaiting for the final rally inside of this bull cycle. During the final rally of the cycle, there's going to be a number of altcoins that outperform their Bitcoin pairs, and for today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys why I believe XRP is sure to be one of the major leaders over the next couple months. If you're new and just finding the channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Always remember to click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos like the one provided for you here. And if you guys would also like to join my community by signing up for my Discord server or downloading my free ebook, links are in the description for all of that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and with that being said, let's jump right into this amazing video today. Alrighty guys, so I want to talk about XRP because it's been a little while since my last update. We're going to be taking a look at the dollar pair. We're also going to be looking at its Bitcoin pair because with my last update talking about Ethereum, talking about its Bitcoin pair, why I believe we're about to see a massive outperformance against altcoins in their Bitcoin ratios. And I think that, XRP is really just right there with all of the rest of the leaders. I think the BTC pair for XRP has been accumulating for a long period of time, and I'm going to get into that analysis explaining exactly why. But to start off, let's talk about the dollar pair real quick, and let's kind of talk about some things that I'm seeing currently. Now, as it stands, we've just been inside of this most recent sell-off. We did get a nice bounce once we ended up finding a support bottom right here at around 67 cents. But then from that point, we've pretty much sold back down. So if we dive to the shorter time frames and we kind of take a look at what's coming here, once again, it's all going to be kind of factored around what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin finds support roughly where it's at, if it holds support from its breakout that we just saw, then I would expect XRP and the rest of the altcoins to do the same. As it stands, this could very easily turn into support where we're at. We did get this little bit of a wick in here, and so there is the potential that this could be, a little bit of a short-term impulse with this little move here being our ABC correction. So I really wouldn't be surprised to see this move here actually turn into an impulse as we continue to actually break up higher from here. So this is kind of what I would be watching out for in the short term. If XRP was to be bullish, we would expect to see a breakout taking place very soon off of these lows. But like I've stated, guys, it really hinges upon Bitcoin. If Bitcoin decides that support's not strong enough and we need one more low, then we would expect to see XRP do the same thing. Now, I would tend to lead towards much more of a bullish scenario with Bitcoin playing out. And one of the reasons why is because we are right at that main trend line. This is kind of our trend line that we've been riding at ever since this capitulation that we saw with the lawsuit. And we've maintained higher highs and higher lows throughout this period of time. With this most recent sell-off, we did get a wick that temporarily went within the lower band right here. But that's kind of why I actually drew two of these lines, is because whenever we draw support or resistance, whether it's diagonal or whether it's horizontal, it's kind of going to be the same where the price action behaves in zones, right? So we could draw one support line like this, but on average, what you're going to see the price do, it might come up just short of this line and it might pull back. It might come up just a little bit above and it might be doing something like this. So it might react to this line a lot, but it might have, a more of a zone that it's reacting to. It might look something more along the lines of this, right? And so this is the way that I like to trade support and resistance, whether it's diagonal or horizontal. In this case, we have diagonal. And so we have this range. And that's why I don't really think that anything right now is to be concerned about. We have had this little bit of a sell-off after our bounce, but with this period of time being so choppy, it's really hard to say exactly what way the market's going to go because it hasn't given us a clear direction quite yet. Bitcoin has temporarily broken from its descending resistance, like I talked about in yesterday's video. And so as long as support holds, we would expect to see the same thing play out with XRP. And I mean, with XRP, another one of the reasons why I think that this setup is looking a little bit more bullish is because of the clear impulses that we did see here. We did see a clear 5 impulse waves off of the lows. And then what we've been pretty much going through ever since then was our ABC correction. Now, on average, whenever you see the end of a C correction, wave C, you're going to see the end of that kind of be pretty sudden, right? Either it's going to be a lot of volume that comes in, a lot of sell volume, or buy volume. It's meant to just show capitulation, because you want at the very end of that C leg there to be seller exhaustion, because that's the end of the correction. And what we see here is actually a big wick. Notice this big wick that we saw. That's pretty customary of what you're going to see at the very end of a capitulation. In this case, this was our corrective bear structure back down. And I like to see the fact that we did get that big wick in there. That tells us that there was a lot of buy support coming in. And it shows us that, the sellers were able to drop the price all the way down here, to below 65 cents. But so many buyers came back in that we ended up closing above our resistance. So this is more of a bullish sign because it shows seller capitulation here. And that's why I'm tending to believe that this is going to end up holding support, and we will get consolidation and continuation from here. We might get a little bit more chop. This is just an upswing and then followed by a pretty severe sell-off on the downside. Anytime you get a massive capitulation type move, whether it's the blow off top of an uptrend or whether it's the short-term exhaustion of a seller trend, it doesn't really change anything, because at the end of that capitulation, you're going to see a lot of volatility. The prices are going to have to stabilize, and to stabilize, they're generally going to be going up and down a lot. And so we know that we've seen 5 impulse waves. We know that this looks to be pretty customary of a completed C leg. And so that's why for me, I would just rather sit on my hands and watch and see what happens with this. I mean, we've really haven't closed below resistance. We've continued to maintain our uptrend. We bounced on support. Even though we are getting this sell-off, like I've stated, it's a really volatile time. So the market hasn't fully decided which way it's going to go. As it stands, I tend to believe that this is going to be holding support, and this is what's going to be taking us into our next new high. That's kind of the way that I've been watching this, because we have a lot of impulses that we've seen here. I mean, we have a clear 5 impulses up in this wave too, followed by an ABC. And so what it really looks like to me is almost like an echo fractal. We see how this ABC back down onto support. And so this to me just looks kind of like an ectofractal. This one right here is roughly the same as what we're seeing right here. And whenever you see these impulses that'll take place, at the very beginning of a new impulse, keep in mind that after the lawsuit, we made this massive move into new all-time highs, or I should say past the previous high, went up to $2, and we corrected back down. After the bottom of this correction, we ended up getting another impulse. So what we have here is very obvious to tell that there's getting more and more impulses that are developing inside the market. Right after our first impulse, we got another smaller one that looks pretty much the same, and that's why I tend to believe that this is just going to end up producing another one. Anytime you get these stacking impulses, whether it's one impulse and then a bigger impulse, or whether it's one impulse and then a little smaller one inside of the previous market structure, usually it's always going to create another impulse. You don't see impulses stacking without there just being another bigger move that's in the works, and that's kind of what I'm seeing playing out with XRP. So regardless, guys, we just need to see if support's going to hold with Bitcoin. If it holds with Bitcoin, there's no reason to think that this is not going to hold with XRP. We're already right at that trend line. If there was a good opportunity to be buying, I think it's now. So this is what I'm going to be watching out for with XRP. If we do make another breakout, which I'm expecting, that breakout's going to be taking us upwards of the new all-time high. So I'm going to be watching with this. I'm going to update you guys once we actually get a little bit more consolidation here, and we for sure cement what way the market direction is going to be headed. Now, let's talk a little bit about the total market cap here. This is a chart I covered in yesterday's video, because pretty much where we're at is the do or die situation, right? This was our previous resistance. We did manage to finally get a move that temporarily took us outside of that, but then immediately we sold back down. And now where we're at is pretty much retesting this previous resistance, except now we're at this point where it's either going to be acting as support, or this entire move here was a fake out and we're just going to end up falling back down. This is something I'm watching for. There's 2 scenarios. We are pretty much right on that support line. So if we're going to see a bounce, I want to see it happen pretty much now. We don't want to see us come back within these previous bounds. We don't want to see us close under resistance. We're pretty much right at that point right now. And so I would like to see a little bit of a bounce, even if we kind of go sideways. Even if we get another candle that comes in here and has a wick below and a wick above like this, it doesn't change anything. We really just don't want to see the market start closing below this. If we start closing below this and we start seeing red candles, and we start seeing wicks on the top end closing below this resistance, then obviously we're going to expect to see more downside. But as it stands, we're pretty much at that point where if we're going to bounce, we would expect it to be taking place right now. If we're not, then we would expect that we're just going to end up selling back below this bound. So I did want to give you guys this quick update just as a way to kind of cover some of my previous analysis. This is something we're watching for, and I'm going to continue to watch for it, and I will update you guys if we get a significant move one way or another. Now, to finish up today's video, I want to talk about the XRP BTC pair, because like I stated with the Ethereum pair, Ethereum against Bitcoin, it was looking very, very bullish. And what I've stated over the last couple years, whenever we see a true alt season inside the market, a true alt season only takes place when the altcoin market as a whole is outperforming their Bitcoin ratios, right? And so what that means is we have Bitcoin, it's at this pretty expensive point, right? Bitcoin's near $50,000, $60,000. For Bitcoin to double in value, it has to have so much money come into its market cap. And so it's becoming less likely, right? The odds and the probabilities of you doubling your money with Bitcoin are becoming less and less likely, and the risk on doing that and holding it for the double is becoming greater. So we're at this point where people are starting to recognize this. We're late in the cycle. Bitcoin's already done so well, but they're starting to look at altcoins that haven't really done a whole lot this entire cycle. They've seen Bitcoin go way past its all-time highs. They're looking at XRP. They're looking at these other altcoins that are still below their previous all-time highs of the last cycle, and they're thinking, man, this looks like a good buy. You know, XRP is only worth, less than $1 or $1, whatever it is. And that, what if it ends up going to $20,000, right? That's what people are speculating in their heads. And so it's during the end of the cycle where we see this massive outperformance in their altcoin Bitcoin pairs. And I think that this is pretty much what we're seeing playing out thus far. We haven't seen that big breakout yet. Ethereum BTC has only had one major move inside of its trend. We've never seen a breakout into new all-time highs. This is why I believe what we're getting ready for is going to be the final blow off top, where altcoins really outperform Bitcoin at the top of the cycle. Where basically what we end up seeing is pretty much just another one of these big pumps, right? Where the market ends up breaking out again and we go into new all-time highs. Something like this. This is how the Bitcoin pairs end up playing out. They make big vertical pumps once they actually end up outperforming, and then they crash equally as fast on the downside, right? And so this is really what I'm watching out for with XRP, and I think that the chart is showing us that we're about to experience this type of a move. And the reason why I think that is because this level right here. So this has been a very important level, and this level even goes all the way back to the 2017 cycle, and even all the way back to prior to 2017, even 2016 and 2015. And so I don't have the full price history, so we're only going to be looking off of what it shows right here. But we can see that this was short-term support before we got our final blow-off top in 2017, the end of the year. And we can see here that this has been a pretty strong level of interest. It was short-term support throughout this period. We bounced off of it when Ethereum or when XRP first made its breakout, and then we got the lawsuit. The lawsuit took us back below support. We ended up rejecting off of that level once again. But really after that lawsuit, when XRP rallied upwards of $2, we ended up flipping this level once again. And we have yet to break below this. And what I've seen thus far, it looks like we have a very clear impulse here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse up, followed by an ABC back down. And I think that that's pretty much where we're at. We've already finished the C leg. We're just in the early stages of us finishing this short-term consolidation before we should get continuation. What I want to see of the price chart for XRP against BTC is us flip this B leg and then us actually manage to get past this resistance here at approximately 3,750 Satoshis. This is our major range that we need to break out of. Once we can flip this top resistance here, in my opinion, that's what's going to be taking us into a big move on the upside. This is kind of our major consolidation range, like we've been watching with not XRP, but with Ethereum. Ethereum had been consolidating for like 3 years, just going sideways before it broke out. I think that XRP is pretty much in that exact same point, except it just hasn't had a breakout yet. It's lagging behind Ethereum. What we see here is a very solid impulse. This is a clear impulse off of the lows. We are now holding support above our previous resistance level, right? This is acting as support. We bounced here, we're bouncing here. We're not breaking below this level. This is why I believe that this is a foundation that we're building here before we ultimately see the next major move into this impulse. The next one that comes will be the blow off top. The big breakout that we see against the XRP BTC pair is the one that we do want to sell into. Whatever the price chart goes to against the dollar, that is beside the point. I think that we really need to pay attention to what happens with this chart, because once this goes parabolic, once it does this type of a move, we just want to be selling. You don't want to focus so much on the price. You don't want to focus so much on the exact ROI, because that doesn't necessarily matter. We want to sell into the hype. We want to sell into the strength. because when the market crashes, it comes down so fast that if we weren't prepared beforehand, we're just going to end up losing all of our profits. So I wanted to give you guys this video as a way to update analysis on XRP, share with you guys some thoughts, perspectives, why I'm still bullish, why nothing has really changed, why I still think that the market is going to be going back up. Now, thank you guys so much for watching. If you found value, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos. If you guys want to join the Discord server or download my free ebook, links are in the description for that. Thank you all so much for the support. I appreciate each and every one of you so much, and I look forward to seeing you guys inside of my group. Thank you all so much for watching today's video, and with that being said, I will catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.